Welcome back, everybody. I hope you had a great week. You know, Austin, how's your week been?
Man, it's been great. I went to the park, I ate some ice cream, and I spent around 8,374 times in a circle.
That is a lot of spinning.
Well, you see, I would have done more, but then I crashed into a tree, and I landed on a squirrel, and it turns out squirrels hate it when people land on them.
See, that's good to know, but what's our challenge for today?
Well, let's look at the card. I hope it doesn't involve squirrels, though. Today's challenge is called Fruit Follow. For this challenge, a basket of fruit will be placed in front of you. You will have 60 seconds to arrange additional fruit in a separate basket to perfectly match the display of the first basket.
Got it. All we've got to do is follow the fruit example.
Exactly.
Okay, wait. I really hope there's not any green beans in there because I cannot stand green beans.
Bro, green beans are veggies, not fruit.
No, they're not. They're fruit, just like potatoes.
No, potatoes are veggies as well.
Maybe it's vegetables I don't like.
Fruit follow?
Challenge accepted!
Alright, this is a lot of fruit, man.
Yeah, but did they squeeze any vegetables in here? The last thing I would want is to have to touch a tomato.
Dude, tomatoes are fruit!
Now you're just making stuff up, okay? What's the difference between a fruit and a vegetable?
Alright, quick science lesson. Fruit typically comes from the flowering part of plants and they have seeds. Veggies usually come from the root or stem of a plant.
Oh, I got it! So potatoes are veggies because they come from the roots, but carrots are fruit because they're grown on trees.
I wonder if you ever even paid attention in science. You know what? Doesn't matter. This is the lovely display of fruit that we will have to follow.
And on our table, we have our lovely display of fruit that we will use to recreate the perfect basket.
You know, when you think about it, this is pretty cool. We've actually never done a challenge like this before.
Wait. What's this?
Oh, that's a kiwi.
A kiwi. I thought you said kiwis are birds.
Kiwis can be birds, but there's also fruit kiwi.
So now you're telling me that I have to know the difference between a fruit, a vegetable, and birds?
Dude, can we just get on with the challenge?
Sure thing.
Alright, let's do this in 3, 2, 1, go! Time!
Not bad, we crushed it. We followed the fruit basket example perfectly.
Now, while the judges look over our work, you guys can kick back and listen to today's Bible story. It's about a time God's people chose not to follow someone pretty important. God himself!
Okay, wait, watermelon is definitely a vegetable because ain't nobody picking a watermelon from a tree.
My First Bible presents Israel Asks for a King. It's been a long time, and Samuel was now old.
Hey.
We came to tell you that we want a king to rule us.
Hey.
How so? What do you want, a king? Asked Samuel. Yeah, we want a king, as well as other nations. But why do they want a king if we have the King of Kings? We have our God. No, we want a king!
Hey, blah, blah.
When they told him this, Samuel was upset, and he began to pray to the Lord. But the Lord said to him, Samuel, give them what they ask for. They are not rejecting you, but they are rejecting me again. They do not want me to reign over them, despite everything I've done for their love. Since I brought them out of Egypt until today, they continue to abandon me to serve other gods. So, pay attention to them, but warn them clearly how a king will treat them. So Samuel returned to where the people were, and said to them, Do you know what having a king entails? If you have a king, its best properties, vineyards, and fields will be for him. Your children will have to join the army, and your daughters will also be taken away from you to work in the palace. Besides, you will have to give a percentage of your crops and profits to give them to officials and ministers. This thing about having a king is no small thing. You are going to lose much more. However, the people did not listen to Samuel, and they answered him, No. We already told you that we want a king to rule us. So we will be like the other nations with a king who represents us, and let him march before us when we go to war.
Blah blah.
I warned you, when that day comes, you will cry out to the Lord because of the king you chose, but the Lord will not answer you. Nah.
Blah blah blah.
After listening to what the people wanted, Samuel sent them back to their homes. Go home. Return to your villages. From that moment on, Samuel set out to find a king for Israel. Until one day, Jehovah revealed to Samuel who will be the king of Israel and what he should do when he saw him.
And we're back. Austin and I finished the challenge from earlier. Now we're just waiting to hear what the judges say.
After carefully examining the two baskets, the judges decided that we have failed.
We failed? How could we have failed? We matched each fruit and each veggie perfectly. Look, the pineapple is right here. The apples are right here. The grapes are right there. And the orange...
The orange is right here.
We forgot the orange. That's why we failed the challenge.
Well, you know, this kind of reminds me of today's Bible story, though.
That's right. When God's people went into the promised land, they saw that there was a ton of amazing fruits there.
Dude, no, did you even pay attention to today's Bible story? That wasn't it at all. No, in today's Bible story, God's people wanted to be like other nations, so they demanded that God give them a king. They didn't want to follow God anymore. It's not about fruit.
Wait, that's a terrible idea. Why would they not want to follow God anymore?
They thought a king would be better to follow instead of God. They were hopping on the bandwagon.
Well, was life any better for the people when they got a king?
Oh, no. The Israelites' kings got them in a lot of trouble. They had just followed God from the beginning, they could have been spared of a whole lot of nonsense.
If there's one thing to remember today, it's this. I will choose to follow God. Following God might not always be the most popular thing to do, but things will always go better when you do.
100%. The great thing is that Jesus came to earth and served as the ultimate example by showing us how to follow God.
Not only that, but he gave us his spirit to help point us in the right direction.
This week, our challenge to you is to wake up each morning and ask God, how can you follow him that day? He might tell you to clean the garage or do your chores, or he might tell you to give your grandpa a hug. Wake up each day and ask God how you can follow him. I promise he will point you in the right direction.
Wait, I think I figured it out. Fruits are very colorful and veggies are useless, boring colors.
Well, actually, you kind of
Because think of a cucumber. It has to be a veggie since it's like a boring greeny plant color.
All right, look, tell you what. I'm gonna go home, crack open one of my old science books, and we'll educate you on this situation.
That's a good idea.
But until then, we'll see you here next time at
Challenge accepted!